Forbes did this really interesting study, although the methodology is kind of clunky, to see which celebrity brings the most bang for the buck. Okay, and it's an interesting list. I didn't really expect it, but basically what they did is they looked at the last 3 films each actor starred in over the last 3 years that opened in more than 2,000 theaters, calculating the return on investment for the studios who pay his or her salary. According to Forbes, we didn't count movies where the actor was in a supporting or large ensemble role, and we didn't count animated movies. The actors who score well on this list tend to have small paydays and star in highly profitable movies.
That makes sense, except for the person who came in number 2, as you'll see in a little bit.
Okay.
So who are the top 10 bang for your buck actors?
All right, well, coming in at number 10 is Kevin James. Okay, for every dollar that he was paid, he made a $22.40 return.
Now, so this is a little skewed because now when you're making a movie, there's a lot of different factors, not just the actor's salary, and of course, how well the movie is written, directed, etc., are enormous factors in this. So take it with a grain of salt, but it gives you a relative sense of how well the actors did, because some actors, by the way, also pick good movies, and others pick crappy movies to make, and so that makes a difference too in how well they pay out.
The writing of the movie, the production of the movie, all of that stuff plays a role. So it's a little difficult to kind of blame everything on the actor or actress.
Or give them credit accordingly.
Definitely.
But like Kevin James usually stars in movies that are Kevin James vehicles, so if he's in the top 10, well earned.
Yes, definitely. Amy Adams comes in at number 9. She makes about $22.60 for her employers for every dollar that she's paid.
Okay.
All right. Dwayne Johnson comes in next, $22.70 for every dollar paid.
I like The Rock, but that's kind of an indictment of America. That movie starred by The Rock do really well.
Yeah, they do.
And by the way, every actor on this list their agents are now like having a party together.
Right.
They're like, yes, you see that we're underpaid. You got to pay The Rock even more money for those ridiculous movies where he's the kindergarten cop or
Oh my God.
Pharaoh of some sort.
I can't believe those movies do well. Or maybe I can.
Yeah.
That's why Americans are so complacent. They allow the political system to screw them over.
And by the way, I like goofy movies too, don't get me wrong. And I know it's Schwarzenegger who's a kindergarten cop, so it's not Atuma, okay? But it seems like he's, of course, trying to be the new Schwarzenegger. All right, so who's next?
Next is my personal favorite, Bradley Cooper. $25 for every dollar paid. Can we just talk about how sexy he is, just for 2 seconds?
No. Next.
I love Bradley Cooper. He did an interview with Howard Stern. Intriguing stuff. You must listen to it.
It's the first kind words Anna's ever said about Howard Stern.
I've been listening to Howard Stern regularly. I think I might have to go back and make a correction of what I said about him in the past.
Oh,
yeah,
big news in the middle of this story.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll talk about that later. All right, Taylor Lautner comes in next. He earns $29.50 for every dollar he's paid.
That's, of course, based totally on the Twilight movies. He had one other crappy movie that nobody cared about. But I got to give the Twilight guys credit, because that dude looks like a wolf.
Well, that's probably why they cast him.
No, I know, and they did a good job. I'm like, dude, if there's an actor that looks like a wolf, it's that guy. All right?
All right, Daniel Radcliffe comes in next. He makes a $30.50 return for every dollar he's paid.
Again, this goes to the silliness of the list, because, of course, it's all about J.K. Rowling and not Daniel Radcliffe. They put another guy who resembled a cartoon drawing on the cover of that book. The movie probably would have done just as well.
Okay. Next is Robert Pattinson, $31.70. So good for him. Then Shia LaBeouf, he makes $35.80 for every dollar he's paid. Kristen Stewart is next. She returns $40.60 for every dollar she's paid. And then coming in at number 1 is Natalie Portman.
All right, that makes sense. Now, so look, Kristen Stewart at number 2 is the exception because she makes an enormous amount of money, but still delivers tremendous value, and she's a little bit more, she's a little higher than the other Twilight stars, because she's not just Twilight, she also did Snow White and the Huntsman, which did really well as well. So she's riding high, even though she gets paid a ton of money. Natalie Portman makes good cash on some of the movies, but Black Swan was produced for a very small amount. I think it was only like 13 million.
Yeah, amazing numbers there. I didn't expect that. It was produced for only 13 million. I say 13 million because in the context of movies, that's a small budget. And that movie made 329 million worldwide.
Whoa.
Get it, girl.
Yeah, and that's why she's at the top of the list, because if the whole movie costs 13 million, obviously they didn't pay her that much on the relative scale of Hollywood, and it makes over $300 million. But, you know, look, that movie was a really interesting movie. I liked it. That's one of the reasons it did well. Perhaps others might consider putting lesbian scenes with Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis in their movie, and that might also get you a nice bang for your buck as well.
I said it in the past, I'll say it before. That scene was a little too long and a little uncomfortable.
Apparently, just long enough to make over $300 million.
I know. All right.
You think that didn't grab some people's attention? Mila Kunis and Natalie Portman in a really long lesbian scene?
Two of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, yes. You know.
Bang for your buck.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, one final note on this story. So according to Forbes, the most overpaid actor was Eddie Murphy. He only made a return of $2.30 for every dollar he was paid.
First of all, that's hilarious. Second of all, I'm surprised he didn't lose that money.
Well, I see, this is why this whole study is unfair, because Eddie Murphy is past his prime. I mean, think about the Coming to America days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you counted that movie, but they're not. They're counting movies from like the last 3 years. I don't even know what Eddie Murphy was in the last 3 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He's in some terrible movies.
Mm-hmm.
And no, look, Eddie Murphy, you got to give him credit, man. He hit his prime, he receded, and he said, fuck that, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
He came back and hit another prime. So you never know, man. He might catch his third win. You think he's gone? He's not gone.
Yeah.
He bit back the prostitute stories. He has survived a lot. He will survive. What was that stupid movie? Not Orbits. Norbits?
Oh, God.
Norbit? Okay, if you can survive Norbit and still have a career, hey, my hat's off to you.